Hello and good morning everyone and welcome to this class. As all of you know, this is a short semester course which in this course I will introduce you a software called Photoshop, which most of you may heard about it and you might have a general information about the usage of this software. Alright, before I go through the overall description of the course, let me give you a brief introduction about Photoshop software for those of you who are not familiar with. Photoshop is an industry standard image rendering software. It is actually a tool for digital imaging. You can use this software to create many kind of 2D or 3D artworks, and you can create graphics, edit photographs, and make flyers, images for the purpose of print as well as for the web. Okay, in this course, I will start introducing some of the basic concept of Adobe Photoshop. Then we will move in through advanced topics on the next coming courses, which will be offered, I think, next month, if I'm not mistaken. So for now, at the end of this course, you will be familiar with the Photoshop environment, and you will understand and use the Photoshop toolbox tools. You will be able to use the options with each tools with the option bar, and you can use the various work area palettes, and then you can create images using layers. For today's class, I will go through some of the basic tools at the main toolbox. Remember this, the Photoshop toolbox is the most important user interface, which includes the primary tools to work with graphics. These tools let you do a lot of work like typing, selecting, painting, to do drawing, editing. You can also view images, and other tools in the toolbox allow you to change the color of the background and foreground, color of the photo and images, and so on. Alright, now open the Photoshop software at your computer by clicking the icon of the Photoshop located at your desktop or any drive at your computer or laptop. Okay, alright, it takes few seconds to come up. As you can see, this is the main toolbar, which is located at the left side of the program. To view the name of the tool button, hold your cursor over the tool, then you will see the name, and the keyboard shortcuts appears as this small tooltip. Some tool buttons have multiple tools combined into one button. Tool buttons with multiple tools have a small triangle in the lower right hand corner of the button, so you can right click and hold this button to view the alternate tools. For today, I introduce only 4 of the tools as we will all together practice these at the end of this lesson to create a class assignment. So I will shortly explain about their purpose, then you can try them to apply during the assignment to get a better understanding of their function actually. At very first, you can see the move tool at the right side up top there, which is one of the most useful that you always deal with. It is used to move everything you have on your screen like selections, layers, objects, guides, and so on. The next tool is called Marquee or Selection tool. This tool button consists of 4 different tools which allow you to make rectangular, elliptical, single row, and single column selections. You use these tools to make selection around any object on your windows. The lower buttons show the lasso tools. This series of lasso tools also allow you to do selections as well, but in a more detailed pixel. It consists of 3 various kind of lasso tools which lets you make freehand, polygon, and magnetic selections. Next to it is the magic wand tool. We use magic wand tool for selection purpose too, but in a different way. This tool lets you select similarly color areas, which I'll show you in the assignment later on. Alright, now look at the ending part of the toolbox menu. As you can see, this tool is named hand tool. The hand tool is also a move tool, but the difference between this hand tool and the move tool at the top is that move tool allow you to move the objects around, but the hand tool lets you move the whole page within the window. You can also use the space button at your keyboard to do the same thing. Now look at the magnifying glass shape under the hand tool. This is called zoom tool, which allow you to magnify or reduce the view of an image. I'll go through the rest of the tools on the upcoming weeks. And moreover, at the top of your screen here, you can have the menu bar, and just like other menu bar in other program, there are basic functions like open, new, save, copy and paste, and as well as other more advanced one which we're going to learn later on. Rather than the toolbox, we have palettes in Photoshop, which are very important. As you can see, they locate at the right side of the program, and we are going to go through each of them later on in some of them in this lesson and some of them for the next lessons. One more thing to know is that at the middle of the program, you have the image window. Anything you open up here will appear at the middle of this window. Any image, any empty page, anything, once you open or create a new document, it appears here. Alright, leave this behind and please pay attention to get to know some of the very basic functions that you deal with most of the time you are working on an image. Okay, let me ask you something. What do you do if you make a mistake and you want to reverse your actions? Most operations can be undone if you make a mistake. Then again, you can restore all or part of an image or its last saved version. But the available memory may limit our ability to use these options. In a Photoshop, to step forward or backward, you can undo or redo. To undo the last operation, from the top bar menu, choose Edit and select Undo. And for most operations, like other program, you can also hit the Ctrl plus Z key at your keyboard. To redo the last operation, again from the toolbar, you can choose Edit and select Redo, or you can hit the Shift plus Ctrl plus Z button or key at your keyboard. Another option that allows you to step backward or forward is the palette name History. To bring the History palette from the top bar menu, choose Window and go to select History. And this top-up menu will come up. You can use the history palette to revert to a previous state of an image and to delete an image status or to create a document from a state or snapshot. Okay, here as you can see, the A is showing a set, showing the sets that sets the source for the history brush, and the B is showing the thumbnail of a snapshot. Alphabet C is showing the history state of the actions that you make in your window. D is showing the state slider, history state slider. You can move it up and down to view the steps. E is indicating that you can create a new document from current state button. For the F button, you can use to create new snapshot, and the G button is there for you to trash and delete any action you want. Okay, I think that's enough for history palette. We have two more important layers also, which is called color and layer palette. Let me start with layer palette first, and then we'll go to know the color palette later on. To bring the layer palette, go to the menu bar at the top and you go to Window, choose Layers, and this layer menu will pop up. Layers allow you to make changes to an image without shifting your original image data. For example, you might store a photograph or elements of photograph on separate layers later to combine them into one composite image. Think of layer as sheets that located one on top of the other. A new image in Photoshop has a single layer. This layer is called the background and is analog to the base layer of a painting. You can change the position of the background layer and it's always at the bottom of the stake holder. Okay, here shows some of the button with the it's showing with the alphabets. I'll go through one by one. A is showing that this is the lock option for the layer. B is showing the layer set. C is the clipping group. D is the text layer. E is the base of clipping group. F is show or hide the layer. G is the currently editing layer, which once you want to work with the layer, you must active the layer first. H is the this is the background color as I told you. Okay, and this is the for the down part. You can see that there are a lot of buttons here also. From the right side, S is showing the trash button, that once you want to delete a layer you use this one. Next to it is for creating a new layer, and the P also is for creating the folder. In folder you can select a few layers and put it, just drop it, select it and drop it in one folder. The Q is the new adjustment of the fill layer, and R and we have O and N to show you. O is the new layer mask and N is the new layer style. Okay, let's finish it up to here for today, and now I want you to create an image using the introduce tool as your today class assignment. On this picture, which I collected lots of fruit pieces, you should be able to create a full face by choosing from these fruit pieces. You can use the tools you are familiar with now, and you can use different kind of selection tools properly. Use the move tool, freehand transform tool, and plus working with layers palette and history palette. Alright, let's create a new document to start our work. From top menu bar, choose file and select new. As a pop-up menu will come up. As you can see here, there are lots of adjustments for a new document to make. I'll go through each of them in the future lessons, but for today we only need to adjust a few options. The present, you drop down the list and select photo, and under the size menu select portrait 4x6, and you can change the name of your file also. You name it fruit face, then click OK. Okay, and now you can start making our fruit face, and I'll go through the few steps to show you how you can work with these tools, and then I'll give you some time to complete your work. Please ask any help during your work if you need. Okay, and thank you for today. This is for today. We are finished up to here, and thank you so much, and let's start creating our funky face.